Welcome to Puppet Fundamentals self-paced training videos by Network Nuts. My name is Alok Srivastava. So we are going to change you from a Linux admin to a DevOps admin, a superhero kind of man who will be able to manage all your machines from a centralized server, a Puppet server. Let's see how it works and how it can be beneficial for you. So the problem, let's understand the problem. You are a superhero now. So the problem is a normal Linux admin, like a person who is a RSC guy, will have too many servers to manage, and it will be very difficult for him to manually manage all the machines. The artistic way of doing the thing, it's gone now. So what's the good idea? The good idea is that if you are a RSC, you should be learning DevOps skills like Puppet, Chef, Ansible. They are the future. So configuration management with Puppet server is the focus, and we will be learning how it can help you in managing thousands of machines. So the problem is you are an admin and you've got thousands of machines, a huge data center. It's very difficult to manage all this huge data center by hopping from machine to machine. You cannot manage it. You need a centralized management console or a centralized server. So the problem is huge and it's taking my breath away. So the problem is solved because we will be learning Puppet and we'll be seeing how Puppet can help us. It's a beautiful tool. So again, the same machines, huge data centers. I will be introducing a machine named as Puppet server, and rest of the machines, the remote servers, will be configured as the Puppet agents, and the agents are configured to go to the Puppet server and fetch their configurations after a fixed interval of time. Puppet server. Why Puppet server? It's open source, made in Ruby. The code is in DSL. It's declarative in nature. It's not like your scripting languages. A lot of companies uses it, like Twitter, Salesforce, PayPal. The cost and the career is amazing. Good jobs, good opportunities. So the features are: it's an agent-based configuration management tool. You need an agent on the remote machines. It's declarative in nature. You just need to define the end result. It's easy to learn, easy to implement. The communication is totally secure using SSL, and by default the agent will go to the server after 30 minutes. We can configure it though. How it works? So agent get approved from the server. Agent goes to the server after 30 minutes, sending its facts. The catalog for the particular server is being checked, and the Puppet server will apply only when it's required, when there's a drift, otherwise not. It's not going to do any changes otherwise. Major components are the resources which we'll be starting with. We'll be learning how to create files, users, package. When you combine the resources, they form a class. Classes are combined into manifest, having templates, files, and then finally we have got roles or modules. That is the final destination. So once we understand all these things, let's start by installing Puppet server and the Puppet agent and see how things get shaped up. So I am using RHEL 7 machine here. I'm using RHEL 7 here. So I have got two machines. Puppet server with this floral background will be used as my Puppet server, and another machine is my agent machine, which is having some blurred background, right? Some bokeh effect is there. Let me slightly reduce it so that it will be easier for you. And this machine is also running Red Hat 7, right? So because I have to download actually Puppet packages from the repository available on puppetlabs.com. So I have two interfaces on both the machines. One will be used for the internal communication and the other will be used for the outside world communication. So if you see here, 192.168.1.9 is actually the IP given to me by my DSCP, which I will be using to connect to internet, and 10.0.0.2 is my internal IP address, a private range IP, and it's a manual IP which I will be using to communicate with my Puppet server. Same I'll show you here before we proceed further. Fair enough. 1 and 192.168, some IP address. That's great. So let me check if I'm able to communicate with the outside world or not. I am. That's great. So I'm able to dig Google from server machine, and let me check it from this machine also. Yeah, that's good. So before I jump and download the repositories and all those things, the first step ideally should be that you should create your own local yum server. So I have my DVD already mounted here. So you can use either the df command, or you can use the mount command to check the location for your DVD. So it is available here. Now let me create a folder. I intend to share my yum using FTP, so I am creating a folder FTP here. Now I move inside var FTP pub, and I copy my whole repository, my whole DVD, everything inside here, right? So it will take its time. In the meanwhile, let me show you like the other things, how to have the connectivity and all other stuff, because it will take its time. So if I go to the agent machine, and as I have already told you, I've got two NICs attached here. So because I want to have, and the host name of this machine is pagent.example.com, and this other machine, let me open one more tab here. Right, I can open it, one more terminal. Can do the things here. In the background, it will copy the packages. It will take certain time, as 4 GB will be copied. Right, so because I want both the machines to be talking to each other using the name, so either you should have the DNS with you, and in case you don't have the DNS, then you should have an entry in the corresponding etc host file. So I give the password is obviously Red Hat. So if I try to do a ping of 10.0.0.2, which is the IP address of my agent, I am able to talk to him, and because I don't have a DNS with me, so I will be using etc host file. So let me check it from the agent also. In the meanwhile, if I try to ping 10.0.0.1, I am able to ping it successfully, but because I don't have a DNS in this setup, so I rely on my etc host file. I give 10.0.0.2, which is this machine name, and pagent.example.com pagent, and 10.0.0.1, this is p server. Sorry, too many R's here. p server.example.com p server. So this, the same entry, I need to do it on the server machine also. So after this entry, I should be able to talk to him using the name, which I am. Okay, because it is rel 7, and so it's though it's not mandatory, but if you know how to control it, then it's fine. Otherwise, it's recommended, as we'll be focusing on Puppet, it's highly recommended to shut down your firewall, your IP tables, and your SE Linux. So let me check set enforce. Sorry, it should be get enforce. It is enforcing, so I do a set enforce 0 for this current session, and I then added my main file also, so that it should not be available across the reboot. So in this file, etc SE Linux config, change it to disabled, and also flush the IP tables, right, and stop the firewall. systemctl stop firewall D, and disable firewall D also. Perfect. So this you have to do it on both the machines. So let me do it here also. etc SC Linux config. So in the meanwhile my DVD will be copied. So we're just utilizing our time here. Make it disabled as we had done it in the agent machine. So let me, it will be slightly slow here as one more job is running in the background, not in the background. I give here disabled, save and come out from here safely. Stop it for the current session also. And also flush the IP tables. Stop the firewall. And disable the firewall. This is you have to do. And I also need to update the etc host file here also. A prerequisite, as you have already I think learned about, is that you should have a good system admin knowledge. One, this is pserver.example.com p server, and this is 10.0.0.2 p client, sorry, p agent, pagent.example.com p agent. Perfect. So if you see here, we had done the things, and I should be able to talk to the machine using the name. Fair enough. I can close this now safely as my copy stuff is being done. I can close this terminal. Fair enough. It's being copied. The whole DVD is being copied. So let me configure myself as the yum client, so you know the location. So these are the things which are kind of a homework or your preparation before you jump onto installing the Puppet server. Make sure that your basic like architecture of the machines and the requirements are fulfilled. So I create a file here, server.repo, anything, say server, name can be anything, name local, or I can say rel7 dvd, and base URL, because in this case I am using it locally. I can use the file var ftp pub, and gpg check will be 0 in my case. So if I do a yum repo list, it should work. So let's see. Fair enough. So I've got around 4620 packages coming via my rel dvd. I can install FTP here because I intend to share it via FTP. So I can now, my yum is working, I can run the yum install vsftpd command. Just a moment guys, we'll be coming onto the Puppet server installation also, but these are your homework or your preparation before jumping onto the Puppet server installation part. Make sure that your local yum is available, because otherwise when you will be creating manifest and your modules for installing the packages, you will be in problem. Right, so my FTP is working properly. Fair enough. Now once it's done, I can go and download the repository for Puppet. So, and you know all the repo files comes inside etc yum.repos.d. So I do a wget of https. You can get this path from Puppet Labs, or you can use this. So I'm just downloading a small RPM which will configure my machine as the Puppet client for the Puppet repositories. It's available. So this is a very important step which will help you getting the updated packages. So this is coming up here. So I can either use rpm-ivh as it will not have any dependencies as such. It's installed. So if I go to yum.repos.d, you will see this repo file is coming up here, and if I do a cat of it, it is pointing to the Puppet Labs server. That's great. So if I again give a yum repo list, and if everything is working properly, I should be seeing the packages which are available to me via Puppet Labs. You're right. So it's working. So 106 packages are available. That's good. Now once it is done, I can move further and use the yum install Puppet Server. This is the command which will help you installing the Puppet server on your server machine. So now it's getting, it's downloading the packages, and then so you either you can download the package locally or create your own repo, local repository, or you can, because you need it only once, so you can straight away go to the Puppet Labs and use their repository. Either way, it's your choice. So I prefer to get it downloaded from their website, as I'll be getting the latest one, and I'll be using it only once, because once it's done, the package is installed, I might not require to go to the Puppet server repositories on puppetlabs.com again and again. So go step by step and make sure you perform the quizzes, you do the quizzes. So it gives you a recap of what we had learned. Okay, accept the signatures. Fair enough. It's installing. So you need to install the Puppet server, but it's installing the agent. It's a dependency because the factor and other packages will be coming up with it. So it has finally installed the Puppet server. Done. So if I give a RPM query Puppet server, I can see the package. So the Puppet server is installed here. I can start the service. So if I show you the status, it's not running by default. So because it's rel 7, so we will be using the systemctl command instead of the service command, which we used to execute in rel 6 and the previous versions. Not anymore. Just wait, it will take time, and because mine is a VM and having, I think, approximately 3 GB of RAM, so it might be slightly slower, but not that much. In the meanwhile, I'll try to get the things done here. So here also you need to get it wget https, or I can do a SCP from there, because I had already the RPM is with me. So let it finish, then we'll do it. Start it and make sure you enabled it so that it should be available across the reboots. It's going to end soon, or start soon, actually, not end soon. So it will just take a moment, and it will be done. Once it's started, I just need to enable it. currently it's not active, right? So if I just do enable here, done. So if I give the status command once again, it's running, kicking, alive. It's green coming up here. I like this. Okay, now I need so I do a SCP of Puppet Labs to root @pagent.example.com, or I could have downloaded it from the net, but I prefer to copy it from here. Now again, you need to install it, or you can copy the repo file here also. It doesn't make any difference, right? So either you can copy the RPM then install it, or if you wish, you can just simply copy this file to the agents, all the agents, because ultimately the objective was to create this repo file, right? So if I do a yum repo list here, I should be getting the packages, right? I'm getting these packages. As the local repository is not set, so you are not seeing the DVD repo here. So on the client side, you just need to install the agent, not the server. This is important. Only the agent need to be installed. As you already know that Puppet is a agent based configuration management tool, so the agent need to be installed on the all your agents or the nodes or the clients, whatever name you call them, by which you call them. It will check for the dependencies, obviously. We are going to just have this installation part done. So once this is done, so you should be able to install it, and both your machines should have the Puppet server and the agent running. That's all. How to create the DSL codes and other things, we'll be doing it in the next unit and the chapter, not right now. So I try to break it in small pieces, so it will be easier for you to understand rather than creating a video of 1 hour or 2 hours. I try to break it in small pieces. And here also you need to start the agent service. It's going to finish. Perfect. So again, I need to accept the signatures. Fair enough. Done. Now the agent will be installed. So this is a very simple stuff. Just make sure you don't skip any of the steps. Creating a local yum server is highly recommended before you jump onto the Puppet server installation part, though you might not follow the same sequence, but it's how I do the things. It's over. So again, I need to start it. I'll just perfect. Fair enough. The agent is started here. Check it using the RPM query. Right. So your agent and the server is ready.